Thank you. I don't know who this is on the Moto G6. Okay. Can you hear me in the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, last one. For on the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Pamela Sue Herrick. I have file numbers 22-01783OT, 18-03619OM, and 22L2718182OI. Are you Miss Herrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Herrick. Today was the date and the time set for arraignment. I have 3 failure to pay warrants here. On one file number 18-03619, you owe $708.24. Looks like back in 2018, you pled guilty to count 3, and there was a delayed sentencing. This is for failure to pay income tax. And then you failed to appear for your sentencing date that was originally set, and then you were eventually sentenced in August 2023. I'm sorry, 2021, August 23rd, 2021, by Judge Buchanan. And you were supposed to be making $50 per month payments beginning December 30th, 2021. You've not made any payments. And file number ending in 182, it's a failure to appear for a ticket or citation that you received back in July 1st, 2022. There was a ticket for a no license, never applied, and then also a no insurance. Under the insurance code, it says here the no insurance, you owe $312 due to the default judgment, and then you had a bench warrant on the no licensing. Counsel, were you planning to appear on this?
Your Honor, are these files that are going to be set for a new pretrial conference, or are these just going to be collection files? Pardon me.
There's 2 that's in collections, and then the no license is gonna have to be set for a pretrial.
That I would be appearing on the pretrial matter, the one for the no license. Thank
Very
you.
good. So that's file number ending in 783. And then we have a public defender here on that matter for the purposes of your arraignment only. Ms. Herrick, what happened with these files? Where have you been?
When I set up the payment plan, I saw a month left in rehab. It actually extended an extra 2 weeks past what we were expecting. When I got home, I actually ended up being homeless for quite some time. I just recently got stable housing, literally like less than a month ago. And just got a job, gainful employment. The time in between that was pretty rocky. I didn't know where I was gonna sleep, let alone how I was gonna do much of anything. And then I met a friend who helped me get back on my feet and become more stable. And now things have become a little bit more doable.
Okay. Where are you employed?
I do in-home health care for my friend.
What's your home address?
1104 Persons Court.
Is that in Lansing?
Yes, ma'am. 48906.
And your phone number?
517-425-6375.
As to the no license never applied, you never appeared for arraignment on that matter. So here it says that back on July 1st, 2022, at approximately 11:32 in the morning in the area upon Vine Street at or near North Pennsylvania Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, you did allegedly commit the act of operate a motor vehicle at the time that you had no license and that you had never applied for a license. And so that is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail and or $500 in fines. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty there, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So in that matter, you have the right to proceed to a trial, and you have the right to have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence at the time of trial. And you have the right to have the city bring sufficient evidence to prove each charge or each element of the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the city intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses at trial or present evidence that you believe would further a defense to this charge. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. Anything you say and anything that you put in writing can be used against you. And then you have the right to be represented by counsel. Again, you have assistant public defender here today for the purposes of your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution. And if you cannot afford to hire your own attorney to represent you, you can request to have court-appointed counsel represent you at the expense of the public, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something you would like? Would you like to request court-appointed counsel on this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the purposes of your arraignment, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You said you were in rehab. When did you get released from rehab?
I got released from rehab. Oh, Lord. I know I was there a month past when I was supposed to get out. And I was supposed to start my payments 2 weeks after I got out. So 6 weeks after the payment date arrangement is the date that I got out of jail or got out of.
So that was back in 2021?
Yes.
Okay, so it's now 2023. You have a failure to pay income tax that you need to make a payment on. And then you have this no insurance default judgment that you owe $312 on. So you're approximately $1,020 that you owe in fines. How much you gonna pay today?
I had $20. That's all I had on me when I got picked up, but I'm not sure if it's on my property or not. I remember them having me sit it down on the seat of my truck.
Okay.
On my passenger seat, but I'm not sure if we picked it back up or if we left it on the seat.
What is your plan to make payments on this?
If I'm able to leave today, I can make a $50 payment as soon as I get to my truck. Well, my friend's truck. And I can make $50 a week at least until it's paid off. I just got into my own place, so I'm not exactly sure how much extra I'll have other than the $50 after paying my bills, and my oldest son just came back to live with me, so I'm not exactly sure how expensive he plans to be either. He's 17. But I know that Worst case scenario, I can come up with $50 a week.
You said a week?
Yes.
Okay. I'll note here that you will make a payment of $50 by Friday. Apply that to the oldest file first. That's the file number 18-03619, okay?
Okay.
I also noted that you'll make payments of $50 per week until paid in full. And then as to the no insurance, the way it works is when you'll come to make the payment, they'll attempt to pay that or apply that payment to the oldest file before it'll go to the new file.
Okay.
So if this no insurance is going to have an impact on your ability to get a license, you would have to specifically request to make that payment applied to the no insurance ticket that you have, okay?
Okay.
If for some reason you're not able to comply with this payment arrangement that you're making now, it's your responsibility to get in touch with the court before a warrant's issued, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions right now about how to make payment?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Not with regard to these matters, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As to the no license, your bond will be set at 500 personal recognizance. You're all set, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sean Davis. Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Lansing Automakers Federal Credit, also known as LAFQ, versus Sean T. Davis. File number is 06-00595 GC. Sean Davis here. Okay. Are you Mr. Sean Davis?
All the way. Oh,
You're Sean Davis?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Davis, today was the date set for a hearing and there was a warrant issued because you have a pending civil matter to which you were non-responsive to. You failed to appear back in 2017. And so the plaintiff is trying to get in touch with you so that they can perform a creditor's examination on you.
I was unaware of this whole situation. The address that they have down for me is an old address that I haven't lived at in over 6 years.
Okay. Well, it looks like they've been trying to get in touch with you for really over 6 years at this point. And that's you said the old address is the address for Village Drive?
No, that's my current address. The address they had was the 5851 Joshua Street.
You currently live at 301 Village Drive?
Yes.
That's the address on the subpoena from 2017.
Well, that's it. Paperwork and everything has asked me down at 5851 Joshua Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48911.
I'm not sure how that switched over. 58, 50, I do see that on the subpoena from 2017.
Yeah.
What's it, Jazz? 5851. I don't know how that happened because the original subpoena has the 301 Village Drive. So we'll make sure the address is updated there and then we'll get this set for a new hearing.
Mhm.
Do you have that address in there? 301 Village Drive, Lansing, Michigan. Is there an apartment there at all?
No, Hill's house.
Okay. Okay, your next hearing date is gonna be via Zoom. It's gonna be on March 2nd. At 8:30 in the morning. Did you get a copy of the notice to appear for that, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna release you on your personal recognizance at this point. Because of the error on the subpoena, I don't know why your address was switched to or reverted to an old address. So make sure you appear for your court date on March 2nd so that you don't get another warrant issue, okay, sir?
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Robert Holberg. File number is 23-00122 SM. Council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Aaron Schroeder from the Office of Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Holberg, who appears today for the Lansing City lockup. Thank you.
Thank you. You're Mr. Robert Holberg.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Holberg, today is the date and the time set for an arraignment. I have here a misdemeanor complaint. It alleges that on or about December 11, 2022, at the area of 1518 Bourne Trail, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault and battery upon a Whitney Rice, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. This is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Restitution may also be ordered, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by counsel. You have representation from the Office of the Public Defender today, only for the purposes of your arraignment, but you have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and if you're going to be questioned by law enforcement, you have the right to have an attorney to represent you. And if you can't afford to hire your own attorney, you can request to have one appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that, right?
Yes.
Are you requesting court-appointed counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Holberg, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say, anything that you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty. You have the right to stand mute. You have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial, and you have the right to have a jury trial, or you can have a non-jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to be represented by counsel. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, so you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge being brought against you, and they have to prove each element at trial beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe would further defense to this charge. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used to prove that you're guilty. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
You have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody, and we'll address your bond in just a moment. For the purposes of his arraignment, is he entering a plea of not guilty?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Holberg, what's your current home address?
1518 Bourne Trail, Lansing, Michigan, 48911.
Repeat that.
1518 Bourne Trail, Lansing, Michigan, 48911.
Oh, okay, so it's the address of the alleged incident.
Yes.
Does Whitney Rice live there?
No.
Are you currently employed?
Self-employed.
What do you do?
Just electrical work and maintenance where I can.
What's your phone number?
517-894-3967.
You're currently scheduled for a pretrial conference. For Judge Cynthia Ward, scheduled for February 6, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Did you receive notice to appear and instructions on how you may appear via Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Counsel, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Holberg has indicated to me that he does not have any type of public criminal record. He indicates that nothing prior for any violent offenses. He is self-employed, where he can get some work. He is on different types of assistance. He's from the area. He's got a fair bit of extended family, as well as his father lives in the area. He's been looking for more steady employment. He had an interview actually planned for today at a restaurant, but obviously that may not come to pass. I'd ask the court to consider him for a PR bond, given all of the above with appropriate conditions. I will say that where he lives is a trailer park location. And if there's anything of a GPS tether involved, he does, I think he mentioned he lives like a street over from the alleged victim on this, as they both reside within the same trailer park area. So I would just say if there was any type of a exclusion zone or something of that matter, that it be taken into consideration that they may live fairly close. So, but I would ask for your PR bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Holberg, what is your middle name?
Abraham.
Okay, you say you don't have any public criminal record?
I shouldn't know.
In that delay, it appears that you did take silence, so I'll wait in order to get up to the problem.
Did you ever plead guilty to an impaired back in 2009?
Yeah, I was on probation for it, but I completed that probation. It was supposed to be expunged.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's happened or not.
Hmm.
Nonetheless, you don't have any violent criminal history. Also, this is an incident from December. I don't think there's a threat to the public safety, so I will grant the request for a personal recognizance bond. Bond will be set in the amount of $500 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You have to have contact directly or indirectly with Whitney Rice. And you're not to be within 500 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use, purchase, or possess drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. And you're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand the terms and conditions of your bond, that is?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Do you have any questions?
No,
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further as to this file, thank you.
You're all set, sir.
thank you.
You're welcome. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Stephanie Girk, file number 22-034551 SM, counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor, Attorney Aaron Schroeder on behalf of. Having a moment here, Your Honor, Ms. Girk, thank you.
No problem. Ms. Girk, is that your name? Stephanie Girk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Girk, today's the date and time set for arraignment. I have here a misdemeanor complaint. It alleges that on or about September 21st, 2022, at the area of 4316 Donald Street, which is located in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault and battery upon a Tyler Lansing, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution is possible as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, ma'am?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Schroeder is here from the Office of the Public Defender to represent you for your arraignment only, but you do have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution and if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney to represent you, you can request to have court-appointed counsel appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that right, ma'am?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, is she requesting court-appointed counsel?
She is, Your Honor, and we would ask for not guilty on her behalf be entered. Thank you.
Okay, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, and you have the right to stand mute. You have the right to proceed to trial in this matter, and you have the right to jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden of proving each element of the charge of domestic violence, and they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand your rights so far?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses at trial or present evidence at trial that you believe would further defense to this charge. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. And you also have the right to be considered for pretrial release from jail. And we'll address your bond in just a moment. Do you have any questions at this time regarding your rights?
Oh, I do not, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're currently scheduled for a pretrial conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be on Monday, March 6, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. and that can be held via Zoom. Did you get a copy of your notice to appear in the Zoom instructions?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay. What's your home address?
4316 Donald, Lansing, Michigan, 48910.
Does Tyler Lansing live there?
No, he does not.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
I work at Taco Bell right now.
And what's your phone number?
It's going to be 517
894-6779.
Ms. Schroeder, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor, with regard to Ms. Girk. Ms. Girk indicated to me that she does not have a significant criminal record. She thought there may have been a disturbing the peace, but she indicated not much else on her record. She is employed for approximately the last year at Taco Bell. She's got a lot. She's a lifelong resident of the area. She does have family local. Based on all of that, I don't believe there's a risk of flight, nor do I think that there is a risk to the alleged victim on this. Just because she's got a lot to lose and a lot of things riding on this so that she's not losing her home or something like that. I would ask then the court, based on all that, to allow her to have a PR bond with appropriate conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Personal recognizance bond is appropriate in this matter. I will set it at $500 personal recognizance while out on bond. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Tyler Lensing. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about what indirect communication might mean?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, you're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever Tyler lives, works, goes to school, food shops, does his laundry. You get my drift?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, you need to make sure you appear to court for all of your future court dates and appear on time. You are not to engage in the use of alcohol or drugs unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use, purchase, or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, Ms. Gerg.
Thank you very much.
No problem. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus John Lucas, file number 19-02404 SM, counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Aaron Schroeder on behalf of Mr. Lucas, who appears today from the Lansing lockup.
Are you Mr. Lucas?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Lucas.
Hello, ma'am.
Today's date and time set for an arraignment because you refused to come to court on your court dates.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't very smart. I should have I'd be over with it now. I just showed up.
Yeah, looks like you originally had a pretrial date back in June of 2019. You failed to appear.
I think I had one that was a little later than that, maybe even two, like a year or so
Oh, you
ago.
had a few. I'm only just beginning to read the file.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You had another one, January 7, 2020, you failed to appear. You had another one, March 9, 2020, you failed to appear. You had another one, June 16, 2020, you failed to appear. You had July 28, 2020, you failed to appear. August 11, 2020, you failed to appear.
I have no excuses.
You were set for an arraignment, March 29th, 2022, you failed to appear. Here we are, January 2023. How did you turn yourself in on a warrant today? Or why
No,
are
I
you in custody? Oh, of course you
I just had trouble getting into my building yesterday.
did. Got it. You've been out there living the high life, huh?
No, but it is Miller for C. Miller, who's the sergeant right now here. So that's some pretty
Got it.
symbolic.
Got it. Well, because it's been so long since you've appeared to court on this, I'm gonna read you your complaint again so you can refresh your recollection. have a misdemeanor complaint here from November 20th, 2018, alleges that while at the address of 6200 South Pennsylvania, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, also known as Meyer. Yeah, you engage in a retail fraud third degree, and as while Meyer was open to the public, you did steal property of the store that was offered for sale at the price of less than $200, and that this is contrary to Michigan compiled law 750.356 D4. It's a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, or 3 times the value or the difference in the price of the property stolen, obtained, or attempted to be obtained, whichever is greater. To impose a fine of 3 times the value, the defendant must admit the amount, or it must be determined by a trier of fact at trial. Do you have any questions about the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
No, I don't, ma'am.
Okay, looks like you did have court-appointed counsel on this, and I don't see where there was a motion for them to withdraw, but maybe they did. I'm not sure. Ms. Schroeder can probably look into that.
I will say that, yes, he looks like we never did withdraw, but the attorney he was originally assigned is no longer on that particular docket, so it's going to go back to reassignment.
Okay, sounds good. And so you'll have to get a new court-appointed counsel. You're gonna have a new court date set, sir. It's gonna be on February 6, 2023 at 1:30 in the morning.
What time was that, Your Honor?
Before Judge- I'm sorry, 1:30, not in the morning, 1:30 PM.
Thank you.
1:30 PM before Judge Cynthia Ward. Did you get a notice to appear for Monday, February 6th at 1:30 PM?
No, I don't believe so. I have some paperwork, but I don't think I got anything that, I may have, yeah, actually I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did when I came in the room. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I
Let me
did.
see what you got. Let me see what you have there.
Yes, I did. With bells on.
Okay, and what's the date on that, sir?
The date is 2/6/23.
Okay, what's your home address?
Just 201. Sorry, I don't have a hard time remembering the address because I don't get a lot of mail. 201 West Jolly Road, or not lot, apartment 808, right there on Jolly Ora Street.
What's the apartment?
808.
What's your phone number?
I don't have one. My mother has one. I don't know her number because I don't call her phone. I haven't had a phone in a while. And when I do have phones, I don't have any service. I just can't use Wi-Fi.
Gotcha. Do you work?
It's been a long time since I've worked for any cash or anything like that. It's been a while. I do work hard when I have a job. It's just been a long time.
Gotcha. Counsel, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's refreshing that Mr. Lucas has been very forthright with the court today regarding his past in terms of appearances. I will note that it's the address he gave is for his mother who lives here local, and he has been staying with. He's just been going through a lot, homelessness, a lot of just life not going so great. And I think he gave up for a little while here, but after speaking with him, I'm hoping that things are going to start looking better for him. I believe that he will show up for court because I think he realizes that this is silly. It's gone on this long. And I would ask the court to consider him to have a chance at a PR bond if at all possible. If not, then some type of low cash bond. Thank you.
I would like to say that I'm refreshed that he appeared in court, but I'm not because he didn't appear on his own. Then this matter has been in warrant status for years and he's failed to appear every single time. And I don't think he's turning over a new leaf today. A bond will be set in the amount of $200 cash surety. Make sure you come to court and get your stuff taken care of. You're all
Sorry
set.
for the deal.
We're on the the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dakari Charles, file
Yes,
number
Your Honor.
22-01401 FY, council appearance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Aaron Schroeder from the Office of the Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Charles for purposes of his arraignment only.
Okay, can you pronounce your name for me, sir?
It's Dequari, ma'am.
DeQuarrie, thank you. Mr.
Yes.
DeQuarrie Charles, today's the date and the time set for an arraignment. I do have a felony complaint here. It alleges that on or about April 8th, 2022, at the area of 1420 South Pennsylvania E9, that's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. You did allegedly in count one commit the act of assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation. It alleges that you did make an assault upon a Demora Jackson by strangulation or suffocation, that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.84. That's a felony, and the maximum penalty is 10 years in prison and or $5,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There is a count two of domestic violence. It alleges that you did make an assault and battery upon a Demora Jackson, who is a resident or former resident of your household, or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. That's a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charges and the maximum penalty attached to both?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Charles, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Schroeder is here from the Office of the Public Defender to represent you for the purposes of your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and if you are going to be questioned by law enforcement. And if you cannot afford to hire an attorney to represent you, you have the right to have court-appointed counsel represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, and the court will enter a plea of not guilty at this time as well. You have the right in this matter to plead guilty, to plead not guilty, or to stand mute. You have the right to remain silent. And anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right in this matter because you're being charged with a felony to proceed to a preliminary examination. And you have the right to have preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date. At the time of preliminary examination, you have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden, which is to establish that there's sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. Do you understand your rights as it relates to preliminary examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
If this matter proceeds beyond preliminary examination, you have the right to have a trial and you have the right to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses at trial or present evidence at trial that you believe would further defense to the charge. You have the right to remain silent, not have silence be used against you. And you have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody. Do you understand your rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, Your Honor.
You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference for me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be February 3rd, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. You may appear for that via Zoom or you can appear in person. You have a preliminary examination before me that's going to be in person at the court Thursday, February 9th, 2023 at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
You got a copy of your notice to appear in the Zoom instructions?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, Your Honor.
What's your home address?
It is 1702 New York Ave, 48906 Lansing, Michigan.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where?
McQueen Landscaping and Agriculture.
What's your phone number?
517-402-8801.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
Oh, Your Honor.
Are you out on bond in any pending matters?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. No.
You don't know if you're on bond?
No, Your Honor. No, I'm not.
Okay, thank you. What happened to the fleeing and eluding that was bound over to the circuit court?
I don't know what's going on with that, Your Honor. I guess that is one of the things that I have going on or something, why they say I'm here too.
That's a felony. You don't remember that you got a pending felony?
I mean, it's been over so long. I had a tether for it and everything and stuff, and I got off tether for it and everything. And I haven't heard nothing else about it.
So you're out on bond then, correct?
I guess if you want to say that then, Your Honor, I'm
No,
not certain.
I don't want to just say that. I don't think it's an I guess. It's a yes or no. Are you on bond? You have a
Yes, ma'am,
pending
Your Honor.
matter? Okay, what's your
guess so.
bond in that matter?
I don't know. I don't have any other paperwork, Your Honor, for anything
Got
else.
it. You can address bond, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Charles has family here in the area. The address he gave is for his grandfather's. He has been working for about approximately 4 months now at the landscape and agriculture facility. He's indicated to me that he does not have any prior violent or assaultive behavior convictions. I do realize he may have something he has to deal with regard to the 30th Circuit Court. I'm looking up in our system here regarding that. I'd still request a PR bond or some type of cash surety that he has some low cash surety. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, I know I got some things going on. I've been trying to get my life straight. Like I said, I've been working. I don't know what's going on with that thing or whatever. I got shot like around the time when the domestic thing was going on, and nobody came to the hospital. I talked to the officer about when it happened and everything when I got shot, and they never said nothing about anything else or whatever and stuff. But I've just been trying to get my life on track, working, going home, and that's it. I haven't been doing anything. I've just been trying to stay out of trouble and trying to keep myself together. So if you could please take that in consideration, I highly appreciate it. Like I said, I know I got things going on, but I'm just trying to get my life together. I'm working. I haven't been working like that before, but I've been on the right track working and trying to stay out of trouble.
So you do know you have things going on, because when I asked you were you out on bond, you told me no.
Yeah, like I said, if I didn't know what's going on, I don't have nothing on no other paperwork, whatever. I haven't heard anything. Like I said, when I got shot and was in the hospital, I haven't had no paperwork. They haven't came to talk.
Who was your attorney on the matter before the 30th Circuit Court?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know. I don't know.
Your Honor,
Yes.
it's Mr. Stephen Feigelson.
Okay.
It's not a flight risk. Been here in Lansing all my life.
Because he hasn't appeared, so. Yeah, you failed to appear in court
Okay.
over there. You got a warrant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, so you don't take your felony seriously. You don't appear to court, and you didn't even know who your attorney was. You don't know what your bond is on a serious felony matter, that is. Stop talking over me. In this particular matter, you've advised the public defender that you don't have any prior violent convictions, but I see an aggravated assault that you pled guilty to. Did you forget about that too?
I believe that was taken care of though, wasn't it, Your Honor?
Yeah, by you pleading guilty and you have a conviction for that on your record.
I thought I was done and over with that and it was taken care of and stuff. That's
Okay. With that being said, personal recognizance bond is not appropriate in this matter. I think that a cash surety bond would be appropriate because I don't think that Mr. Charles, who's currently out on bond on a pending matter and has a bench warrant on that matter, returns to court to handle his business. And so with that being said, bond will be set on this matter in the amount of $12,000 cash surety. There's a no contact order that will be in place in the protection of the alleged victim, Demora Jackson. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Do you understand that?
yes, Your Honor.
Not to have contact directly or indirectly. No phone calls from the jail. You understand
Yes, Your
that?
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Am I-
You need to let me talk and not talk over me. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, and you'll be reporting to them weekly. Do you have any questions about your bond so far?
Is there any way I can be eligible for tether or anything, Your Honor? Like I said, I've been here all my life. I never skipped a state or anything or whatever and stuff for court. Yeah, I might have not showed up, but I don't run or anything. Just
I understand your concern. So one of the things we have to balance is not whether or not you skip the state, but do you appear in court? And you don't appear in court because you currently have a warrant in 30th Circuit. So you got to get that taken care of anyways.
okay.
So we can, if you don't post bond before your next court date before me, we can revisit that conversation. But at this time, personal recognizance bond is not appropriate because you don't, not only do you not appear and take for court to take care of your business, you don't even seem or appear to be taking it seriously enough to think that you should remember important facts. You should know what your attorney's name in a case that's been pending for as long as that matter. You should know that you have court and you should be appearing in court. You should know when the judge asks you, are you out on bond? That yes, actually I am on bond. I have a pending felony matter that's been bound over to the circuit court. You should know that you have prior assaultive crimes on your criminal history. So you're engaging in actions and you're not taking it seriously. And so those are concerns for the court as it relates to this matter. This is a very serious charge. Maximum penalty in the felony is 10 years in prison. And it's allegations of serious violent activity. And so with that being said, the bond will be as stated on the record. Do you have any other questions?
No, Your Honor, just during that time, I think that's when, like I said, I got shot and I was just bed rested and everything and stuff where I couldn't leave out and do anything, but yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it sounds like that could or could not be true. I'm not sure. But that doesn't explain why you missed court on the matter that you're already in bond for, because that was not around the same time. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who is this?
Ma'am, whenever you're ready, we have our mobile card set up.
Okay, that's who LPD court officer is, or court office?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, that's over in Mr. Gray's cell right now.
Thank you. Mr. Ray?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now I see Mr. Ray is here. Who's on the iPhone?
This is Mr. Gray from the LPD ISO
Wait,
cell.
I'm not talking to you right now, Mr. Gray. Who's on the iPhone with the Spartan sweater on?
That's Jenkins. We're here for landlord tenant.
Okay. You know where Linda and Terry Hayes are?
They're actually in New York. They're co-signers. My wife Jamie's here also.
Okay, oh, got you. And do you have an attorney?
We do not.
Okay, Mr. Ray, can I put you all in a private meeting room to try to discuss this while I finish arraignments?
Sure.
Okay, can you put them in a private meeting room?
Brenda Hill would be my client, Your Honor. Would you please add her?
Okay. Yes, please. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lavelle Gray, file number 23-00274 FT. Council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Aaron Schroeder on behalf of Mr. Gray, who appears from the LPD lockup. I will note for the record, I was not able to do a screening of him due to the fact of his status at the moment in isolation. Thank you.
Okay, today's the date and time set for an arraignment, and I have here a felony complaint. Mr. Gray, it alleges that on or about January 24, 2023 at 4230 South Martin Luther King Boulevard, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly in count one commit the act of motor vehicle unlawful driving away. It alleges that you did willfully and without authority take possession of and drive or take away or did assist in or was a party to such taking possession, driving, or taking away of a motor vehicle, to it being a blue Kia belonging to another, and that person being a Summer Dan, that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.413. That's a felony. The maximum penalty is 5 years in prison, and the Secretary of State is to suspend your driver's license for 1 year under MCL 257.3192B. Do you understand the charge, sir, and the maximum penalty there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Schroeder is here to help represent you for the purposes of your arraignment. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution. You also have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you cannot afford to hire an attorney to represent you, you can request to have an attorney represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you want to request court-appointed counsel to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf as well, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in this matter, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, and you have the right to stand mute. You have the right in this matter to proceed to a preliminary examination, and you have the right to proceed with to that examination within 21 days of today's date unless you waive that timeline or good cause is found by the court to go beyond that timeline. At the time of the preliminary examination, it is your right to have the prosecution meet their burden of establishing that there is sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If this matter proceeds beyond preliminary examination, you have the right to have a trial. You have the right to have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charge being brought against you, and they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses the prosecution intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses at trial or present evidence at trial you believe would further defense to the charge. And you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. Do you have any questions at this time?
I just wanted to be able to speak to my attorney and let her know what's going on and with my thoughts and my thought process right now.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see if we can get that taken care of for you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you are currently scheduled for probable cause conference for me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be Friday, February 3rd, 2023 at 2 p.m.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You have a preliminary examination scheduled for me. It's going to be on Thursday, February 9, 2023 at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get a copy of the notice to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know what's going on the screen. What's your home address?
My home address is, I got my own apartment right now, but you could keep my mom's address on there. That 416 North Sycamore, that's my mom's address.
Oh, okay. What's your own apartment address?
1007 Rio Road.
And that's where you receive mail?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your phone number?
I don't got a phone currently, but you can use my mom's phone number, 517-894-1604.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I work under the table right now. I do all kinds of trades. So I'm just learning different trades every day. I was supposed to go to my son's visitation today at 10 a.m., but I missed it. It's every Wednesday and Friday, so.
Okay. All right. And are you at all engaged with community mental health?
Yeah, I actually got a psychiatrist. His name is her name is Dr. McCauley, but my therapist, his name is Dr. Till. And I talk to Dr. Till once a month. I'm trying to be able to talk to him more, like a month, like maybe twice or 3 times a month. So, cause like I got a lot of issues going on in my mind, and it'd be hard to like, I can't talk or tell to nobody. So I've been wanting to talk to Dr. Till more often.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see here. Do you have an apartment at the 1007 Rio Road?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And what was I about to say about Dr. Till? He want me to, my Dr. Till want me to just keep doing everything right. Like he want me to continue to keep taking my medications, like my Adderall and like my.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you because you don't need to tell us what your medications are right now. I just want to know what's your apartment number for the Rio Road address.
I already told you. Yup, that's the same one.
What's the apartment number though?
No, it isn't. That's the address. It's no number.
Oh, okay. No apartment number. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You can address bond, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do realize this is not an ideal situation here in terms of the arraignment, but I would ask for the potential for him to have a PR bond. It sounds like I don't see much in our system for him. I just was looking through trying to see if we had any real, I see just a ordinance misdemeanor from it looks like 2018, 2019. 2020, sorry, I apologize. And nothing else. He's indicated he does have he has his mother's address as well as his own address he's given to the court here today. He's given us a phone number to contact him at, which we would be following up with him at to get the additional information we need for our screening. I'd ask for a PR bond with appropriate conditions. Thank you.
Although this is a situation where we're dealing with a non-violent offense, it's still a felony offense, maximum penalty being 5 years in prison. Due to the nature of the incident as well as to his behavior, I mean, as you can see, he's being arraigned from a jail cell. And my understanding is there's been some allegation of some damage or attempt damage in the jail. I think that I need to send him to be evaluated at community mental health before he can be released. He's not even able to, I believe, to have a private conversation with the public defender's office. So that'll be the order of the court. I can address bond more appropriately after I get some evaluation performed at community mental health. So I am going to order that he be remanded until he can have a evaluation done.
I mean, I got a psych eval done in July, and they told me that if he thought that if I needed to stay, he would have kept me. I went to DHS to get my psych evaluation done.
Okay, well, I think that there might be a reason for us to have a new one, okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if it turns out that all you need is just to have more conversations with your doctor or maybe get some more medication, if you're on medication, then we'll do that. But I can't release you unless I know you're okay, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I'll see you on the 3rd of February. And then we can see how things are going then, okay?
All right.
All right. And
Any additional?
oh, sorry, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, I was gonna ask, were there any additional matters?
I just wanted to make a record that we will follow up with Mr. Gray as soon as possible at the jail to get the appropriate information that we need in a more private setting. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. Gray, and the public defender's office will be in contact with you shortly, okay?
So when will I be ready to do my psych eval?
I can't tell you when that's gonna happen because I don't control the timelines at CMH, but we're gonna try to get that done as soon as possible, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that does it for me today. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all we have in the jail? Yeah. Oh. Who was Mark Reese and Matthew Carpenter and Jerry? Oh, well, praise the Lord. What's your name? So on the record in the matter for the people of the city of Lansing versus Raekwon Funches. This is file number 22L27244046. Mr. Funches. Today is the date that we're addressing a bench warrant failure to appear. You were scheduled to be before me back on December 5th. You failed to appear. This was after you did appear in October, and I granted the request to adjourn the matter for 30 days so that you could provide proof of registration and license, and the people had offered that they would dismiss if you could produce those documents. Did you forget about your court date, sir?
Yeah, I forgot about it. It was supposed to get sent to my grandma's house, but I live on campus at school, so it was like a miscommunication of Great Lakes.
Okay.
It was like a miscommunication. I never got it.
Right. Well, we would have given it to you when you were at court on the 24th.
was on Zoom.
Correct, I'd give you your date then. You have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Cell phone comes with a calendar in it?
Mm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are you studying at school?
PTA, physical therapist assistant.
Oh, okay, and you have to keep a schedule there?
Yes, ma'am.
So you know how to keep a schedule?
Yes.
Okay, you don't think court's important schedule you need to keep?
No, I do.
Okay, so we'll reset this for you. It's not gonna be up to your grandmother to tell you when that court date is.
Yes,
It's up to
ma'am.
you to remember the court date, okay?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. February 7th at 10:30. February 7th at 10:30. What you gonna do with that date?
Put it in my calendar.
Oh, okay. When are you gonna do it?
Well, my phone charged back up.
Okay, we're gonna give you a copy of your notice to appear while you're here. Okay? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Is that on Zoom or in person?
You can appear via Zoom. And whatever you were supposed to be gathering as it relates to proof of registration and license, you should probably get all that taken care of so you can provide that to your attorney and they can work on getting the case dismissed if that's what they're gonna do. I don't wanna know what's going on in the underline. I'm just reminding you of what they noted then.
Like when we did that, when like you put me in that room, he gave me his email and I emailed it to him. Like
The attorney, was it Mr. Lee?
Yeah,
Okay, so you've already provided him with the documents?
yeah. I sent him my a picture of my license, front and back, and then my registration.
You
and
did that before
insurance.
December 5th?
Yeah.
Well, then he could have just had the prosecutor move to dismiss versus the bench warrant. We'll see if we can get in touch with him and he can make sure he has that, because if not, you may need to resend it to him, okay?
Okay.
And then as to, is there a file number on this? This is the same date, is that what this is? Exactly, no resisting charges filed on. Let's see here, what was the date of this ticket?
They were all on the same date, Your Honor.
Okay,
I'm the
so
person
they
that
were,
requested the,
got it, and so you posted a bond because they were possibly gonna issue resisting charges, is that
Yes,
what it
ma'am.
was?
yes,
Well, they've not done so at this point, so I'll release the bond to you.
thank you so much.
$250 that will be returned. Let me look that up. You're his grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
You work at Cooley?
I do.
Okay, I was gonna say, you look familiar.
Yeah.
All right.
Interject.
Okay, well,
Your daughter.
now, yep, so we're all set. We'll get you that information so you can get to the clerk's window. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, man.
You can stop giving your grandmother a hard time, I know, right?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor.
On the record in the matter of Copper Bay Company LLC versus Linda Hayes, Terry Hayes, and Jamie Jenkins, and Michael Jenkins, file number 22-03109 LTE, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jeffrey Ray on behalf of the plaintiff.
And we have President Michael and Jamie Jenkins. They are without counsel. They met with you privately, Mr. Ray. Did you all come to a resolution on this at all?
Yes, it appears that Jenkins have applied for assistance in 2 locations. One of them was Mishta. That was a while ago. Under the circumstances, we all felt it would be best to enter a judgment of possession and a money judgment to get things rolling. And the Jenkins agreed to that. So if you want, I will put the terms on the record and we'll make sure the Jenkins are in agreement.
Very good. You can do so at this time.
Thank you. The possession judgment would be $8,736.28 in rent. Court costs of $290.76 for a total judgment of $9,027.04. The money judgment through today only would be $83.88.86. The same cost for a total of $8,679.62. An order of eviction would issue if necessary on or after February 7th. If the Jenkins heard all that, we had some problems in our breakout room, but
No, we did hear all that.
I just
Okay.
have one question, and you may have said it. So you're gonna ask for possession, but if we get you the money, you won't ask for possession. Is that right?
no, I mean, you would have the right to pay. Hopefully you do pay the money.
Okay.
Or someone on your behalf pays the money. And yes,
Okay.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
just wanted to ask that question because
Okay,
moving is not great, and I'm just getting over COVID. So
okay. Hopefully your
Okay, so-
assistance will provide a response, so.
So to reiterate, the rent to retain is a total of $9,027.04. That's correct?
Yes,
And you, Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, need to pay that or vacate on or before February 7th, 2023. You understand that?
Yes.
yes,
And you are willing to consent to that judgment?
yes,
Yes.
Okay, so you have to give up a couple of rights in order to enter consent judgment. One of them is the right to be represented by counsel. Are you willing to waive that right here today to enter into consent judgment?
Yes.
And you also would have to waive your right to have a trial in this matter. Do you want to waive your right to a jury trial in this matter in order to enter into the consent judgment?
Yes.
You have 3 business days from today. And actually, I need to hear Ms. Jenkins say yes, or if she's
Oh,
waiving
sorry.
her trial.
sorry, yes,
Thank you. You have 3
Yep.
business days from today. If you leave here and determine that you misunderstood any of the rights that you just waived, you can request to have this judgment set aside and we'll set it for a hearing, okay?
Okay.
Do you give Mr. Ray permission to sign the consent judgment on your behalf?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So judgment will enter as stated on the record. Unless you have any questions for me, you're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you, Your Honor. We'll submit that right away.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good
Yeah.
one.